Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
All right, here we go. This is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jacked Up Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Jacked Up Joel. All
You're
right.
jacked up. Okay, so today we're going to continue our Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and we're going to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Oh man.
Joel, who was a part of this?
All right, so this one starring Robert Englund. He was in Lake Placid vs. Anaconda, Zombie Strippers.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Nice.
And Mark Patton. He was in Amityville Clown House, Family Possessions, and Happy Slashers, which is an animated show that's actually starting in 2021. Hasn't started yet. So
interesting.
And Kim Myers, his girlfriend. She was in Hellraiser Bloodline, The Last Sin Eater, and The Sitter TV movie.
Okay.
This one was written by David Chaskin. He wrote The Curse, I, Madman, and Midnight's Child, which is a TV movie.
Okay.
And directed by Jack Shoulder. He did Alone in the Dark, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies, and 12 Days of Terror.
Nice.
Lots of well-known movies and shows there.
Yeah, that's all exclusively horror, it sounds like, for all the actors. And
at least the majority of it. Yeah.
Writing and directing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this one is about a teenage boy haunted in his dreams by deceased child murderer Freddy Krueger, who is out to possess him in order to continue his reign of terror in the real world.
Oh, man.
Yes. So, this one was from 1985. So this is a year after the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I think we said in the last review that there was not, when it was written and supposed to be created, it was not meant to be a series.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Craven didn't have that intention.
Yeah.
And so then it became, they had the ending that they had so that they could have a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to write, create a sequel, produce it and everything all within a year.
Yeah.
So, as you can see,
get what you get when you rush production on everything.
Now, I like this movie. I'm just going to say.
Mm-hmm.
When it first came out, and I think still people talk about it, this one, when it came out, was considered the gayest horror movie ever made. Now, there's not really any, on-screen, homosexual behavior necessarily.
I think for this movie, he has his scream is pretty intense.
Yeah.
You don't see a male in these types of slasher horror movies. It's usually a final it's usually a final girl, not a final guy.
Yeah.
So I think that may have played a part in why people think that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And his scream is it's definitely not a very, like, manly scream. Like,
yeah.
I guess
it's very shrilling.
Yeah.
And he would
it's a good scream, though.
Yeah. No, yeah. Definitely a good scream.
It's a really good scream. But, yeah.
One scene when he's finding out that he had killed, like, the PE teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at his hand, he has a glove on, and he just, like, looks at it for a second.
He just, like, screams, like, yeah. I don't know if that's the reaction that one would take.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's probably one of the most intense screams of the movie.
Yeah.
And it took him a second. Like, he looked at it for, like, 10 seconds. And then... So anyways, yeah, I think that was definitely different, especially back then. And, you know, then the PE teacher is, I don't think it's specifically said, but he, like, hangs out at a gay bar. And so the PE teacher kind of has, like, a little thing for the main guy and his friend. And some of the, there's, like, a scene where the main character, he is, like, cleaning his room. And he's, like, dancing around.
Yeah, he's dancing, dancing and singing.
And it's, you know, it's a little off. See, when I first saw this, which was like 10 years ago or something, I just thought it's the 80s, you know, so it was just kind of like that, you know. I didn't ever connect the whole gay thing to it.
Until I watched that documentary on it, and the movie actually, like, ruined his career because of homophobia. So, and, you know, the writer even said, you know, it's supposed to be, like, subtle, but they definitely brought it to the forefront when it actually was directed and made. So yeah, I don't know if it got, like, a lot of negativity. I think it did, but I don't know if it, like, because, you know, it's still watched and it's not like a banished movie or whatever. Yeah. But it definitely had that controversy. Yeah, it definitely did.
Okay. So, what did you like about this one?
So, with this one, Freddy is possessing this kid.
Yeah.
And, so, what's different? So, what was different about the first one was that, it was... Everyone at the end, it wasn't Wes Craven's original ending, but everyone ended up coming back at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
What was different about this one is that it wasn't really dreams that were killing people. It was Freddy possessing this kid.
Yeah.
That was killing people in the real world.
Yeah.
And so I liked that both of these movies were kind of different. Very different, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, because you consider Nightmare, you put that with dreams.
Yeah.
This wasn't really a nightmare on Elm Street. This was a possession on Elm Street. Like,
sure. I mean, he has nightmares, and I think that's where Freddy can, like, get him, you know, and possess him through his nightmare. But it's not people, like, he's not killing somebody in their nightmare.
Yeah.
He's possessing
in the real world.
Dude, and then that dude is going and killing people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Until the end when he just, like, pops out. And so is everyone at that party, do they see Freddy, or do they think that it's him?
It's confusing. It's definitely confusing to me. Jesse is the main guy's name, so we can use that.
Jesse. I liked that it was different than the first one. Again, he's more serious than he is in future movies.
Freddy?
Yeah, Freddy. Yeah. The first and second are, like, his most serious that he is.
Sure.
Maybe New Nightmare, because it's not really, like...
Yeah.
We'll get to that one. But yeah, as far as the majority of these movies, they're usually... He's got some pretty funny one-liners and everything, and he doesn't really have that in this one.
No.
And his kills aren't really that original either. Not like are creative as they go from there. So it's, it takes more of like the serious tone
Right.
of these horror movies, which I liked. I liked the goofiness too of the future movies, but I like the serious tone as well for these movies. The acting actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Compared to other movies.
Yeah.
Especially even in general, like 80s horror, like slasher movies.
Yeah.
Acting's usually really bad, but the acting wasn't that bad in this movie.
No.
The girl looks like a young Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does.
Like a lot. Like that could have been like your sister or like maybe daughter or something like that. But yeah, those are pretty much my positives. I did like when he stayed over at his friend's house and then Freddy's like coming out of Jesse to attack. It kind of was a little bit weird. That's because it seemed like, because I don't know at that point, is he seeing Freddy or is he seeing like the transformation of Jesse?
Yeah.
Because he's tearing Jesse's body like apart coming out of him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if he's seeing that, then Jesse's like dead. There's no way.
There's no Jesse.
There's no more Jesse. He's done.
Yeah, I don't know. It was confusing to me. They were like kind of swapping back and forth. Like it was Freddy at 1 minute, and then it was Jesse, and then Freddy would kill somebody, but then it would show Jesse with the glove on, and so it was it was
going back and forth.
To follow. Yeah.
So that scene was pretty cool. Like practical effects was well done for the most part in this movie.
Okay.
So yeah, I did like the acting would be a positive in this movie. Just the practical effects and that's really, there's not a whole lot that you can say as far as negative or really positive for these movies, because I mean they are what they are. Like they're 80s slasher movies. They're all gonna be relatively similar.
Yeah.
For the most part, there's definitely differences in the series, but
this is one of the more different ones.
This one is, yeah.
This one kind of like on an island compared to the other, at least a few of the other movies.
Yeah.
This one takes a different route.
It does, yeah, and I do like that and respect that for going a different direction than future movies do. But
Okay. So for me, what did you think of the opening scene with the school bus? That's what I always think of when I think of this movie.
Oh, it was interesting. You could tell, because you can clearly see the bus driver is Robert Englund,
right?
Like from the first moment that it shows the bus, you can see it's him. Like
you don't know it's Freddy, but
it's Robert.
Plays Freddy.
Yeah.
So, but Robert Englund plays a couple of roles throughout the series that he's not playing Freddy.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so I don't know. I always think of that, and it's kind of corny. Like once they get out into the field and like the ground starts separating, and the bus is like balancing on this little piece of land. But yeah, for some reason I always think of that scene. I mean, it is the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so. It's a memorable moment for
from it. It has a certain feel, and this whole movie does, where it's just off. Like it feels strange. Yeah. When I'm watching it, it almost feels like a TV movie, kind of, but like in a good way. For me, I don't know. The music is different. The score, they don't have that same theme or anything, but the music is, I don't know, it's creepy. It it has an off, weird feel through the whole movie. And I think it's the tone, because Freddy is darkest in this, and I think scariest out of all the movies. His voice is really cool in this one. He talks more. He's on screen a lot more than in the original. And his tone, that darkness and scariness, with the kind of goofiness of the 80s, and some of the stuff that they choose to throw in this movie, just makes it off, makes it unbalanced to me, but I like it because of that. You know, as you'll see later in the series, not a big fan of some of the other movies, where this one has the scary Freddy and the funny characters.
Yeah.
So I like that. I don't necessarily like when Freddy is trying to do too much of one or the other. When he's trying to be too funny or
too serious.
Or trying to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
This one, he's not even trying to be funny. And he looks the coolest. His eyes are like yellow. There's like a good close-up on him when he says like, "We've got work to do."
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that part. The dance scene while he's cleaning his room is funny. Like, it seems like it's not even from the same movie.
I know.
His dad tells him, or no, he's like unpacking.
Yeah.
They moved into the original house where Nancy lived. And so his dad, like, he was going to go out and see his girlfriend or whatever. And his dad's like, "No, I told you need to unpack your room." And so he gets all mad, stomps upstairs.
Like a child.
Pouting. And so he takes clothes out of his one of the boxes and just throws it into one of the drawers.
Yeah.
He's, "Take that, Dad."
Like, dude, it's your room. So
and he puts on these like weird looking glasses, turns on the stereo, and it's like some 80s like dance love song. And he's dancing around. It's like, what am I watching? This is not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And it lasts for a little while. Like, he's like pushing, like he's like bumping his butt against his dresser, like pushing a drawer in. What?
Yeah.
What is this? So I like it because it's funny. You know, it's entertaining. This movie, for some reason, when I'm going to want to watch a random Nightmare on Elm Street movie, this is one of the ones I think of. This is almost like a Halloween 5. There's a couple of those with Nightmare. Yeah. They're just not good movies, but I like them. Like, this one is not a good movie. It's really not. There's nothing you can... I mean, the special effects, yes. Yeah. You know, you can say this is a great example of use of good practical effects. But other than that, it's not a good movie.
Birds just blow up randomly.
What was that?
Spontaneously combust, you know?
It's like a bird.
And he's checking for like a gas leak. I'm like, I don't think that your mom smelled gas. I don't think birds blow up from that. But you could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that scene
was so random.
Yeah, it really was.
Like this killer bird. And I think what they were trying to do was the whole predictable horror thing where birds can kind of like sense when something evil is around, you know?
Yeah.
And they'd like fly into your window or, you know, whatever.
That would be fine. Like,
I think that's what they were trying to do. But...
And then they just decided to go a different route with it.
Yeah. I don't know. That was really random.
That was funny though.
So yeah, I mean, and I think Mark Patton as Jesse, I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
I think he did good acting. His scream is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, can't really... It's just some of the choices. You know, why was there a gay bar? With these... I mean, it like didn't
S&M, specify gay, but, I mean...
The people were dressed up pretty,
yeah.
You know.
Could have been Halloween.
Could have been.
And he, like, tackles his friend on, like, the soccer court, or what was it? Baseball field?
Pulls his pants down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening? Oh, man. So it's entertaining. It's funny. And like I said, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, it's an 80s movie. You know? But apparently they were trying to say something. I don't know.
Yeah. And it wasn't subtle. Like, if that's what he was going for.
No.
Like, he said that the writer was going for subtle. Like, he was going to subtly through. I mean...
He said it was subtle when he wrote it, but then when they directed it and produced it, they really brought that to the forefront. So, anyways. I like the scene when Freddy, like, pulls his scalp back. And he's like, "You've got the body and I've got the brains." And pulls his scalp back. Yeah. Like, Freddy is awesome in this.
Yeah, I do like Freddy in this.
You're all my children now. Like that at the pool party.
Yeah.
That was cool. Okay.
And then you like he's burning people alive in the pool.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean, sure,
but
like,
he kills a bunch of people in that scene.
He does.
He
he kills a lot of people in that scene.
Yeah,
but it's like okay, in the real world, apparently he is still like magical.
Yeah, he can do.
Yeah. Which they kind of like showed that in the end of the first movie when they pulled him into the real world.
Yeah.
I kind of wish Wes Craven was still involved with these movies.
Yeah.
He is in a couple more, but not for this one.
No.
Because I don't think he would have... I think if he was still as involved in the second one as he was in the first, this would have been a completely different movie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I do like the route that they took with Freddy trying to get to the real world.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I do like that because it's kind of like Chucky, you know, trying to get back into a body.
Yeah.
You know?
But you would think that the dream world would be better because you can. I mean, you can do whatever you want in your.
He wants to live again.
Dream nightmares.
He doesn't want to be all burnt.
He's still going to be burnt in the real world, unless he. I mean, he was taking over Jesse's body, so he wanted the body of a 17-year-old, apparently.
Yeah. There you go. All right, negatives.
So, where some of the practical effects were good, some of them were not.
Like what?
There was a scene towards the end where the girlfriend, I don't remember what her name was. She is going. She goes into the boiler room area, like the building.
Yeah, and
there's these.
Oh yeah.
These dogs?
Are they dogs?
I don't know what they were.
Dogs or cats or something.
Yeah, with the body or the face of humans. And
yeah, that was like why?
Okay. That's something.
Yeah. I didn't understand why that was necessary.
Yeah.
And it looked really dumb.
It looked really bad. It's like you guys didn't even need to put that in there. Like that's what you were doing was fine. But apparently this boiler room area is some like magical place that has animals with faces of humans.
There you go.
No explanations there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, there's really, like some of the practical effects were really good for their time.
Yeah.
And the acting I had as a positive. I didn't really have a problem too much with this movie. Like it was still dark, like the first one was. Freddy was his serious self in this movie too. Yeah, Jesse, I like Jesse as well, and the girlfriend was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of negatives for this movie besides that scene, which is only like a small little scene, but it's still really weird. Yeah, I honestly can't think of too much for this movie right now.
Well, what'd you think of like the plot and like some of the stuff that was like, you know, is he Jesse? Is he Freddy?
Yeah, that part, it did get kind of confusing after a while. I do like the plot of it. He's trying to get into the real world by possessing someone, by possessing a kid. I like that. That was different from the first one, and it's different from the rest of the series as well. Like, that doesn't. I don't know why they don't go that route in future movies, because that's kind of it's a clever thing to do if you're trying to get into the real world. But apparently people just rather nightmares instead. I mean, it fits with the title of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, yeah, the bird blowing up is a negative because that didn't make any sense. To me either. That was more funny than anything.
Yeah.
No animals were harmed in making this movie. Don't worry. No birds were actually blown up. And how he's trying to find some leak, some gas leak as to an explanation. I mean, it would make sense. Like your bird just blew up out of nowhere. Like you probably want to find some reason for that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird how it happens because Freddy would appear and disappear
Yeah.
like at will, basically, whenever he wanted to.
Yeah.
And no one was dreaming at this point.
No.
And he wasn't being possessed at this point.
No.
So I don't understand, like, the relevance to that scene.
The bird.
Yeah, the bird
I don't know.
blowing up.
That's the only thing I can think of is it's trying to show that the bird can tell that there's evil, lurking. I don't know why I had to blow up, but it was going kind of crazy. Like there was two birds and it ate the other bird. It killed the other bird in the cage.
Yeah.
So
unless Freddy took over the bird's body and blew him up. Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, besides those things, it was, it's still not a very good movie, but it's still, it's not, the worst thing in the world either. So yeah, those are, I mean, they're pretty minor as far as negatives go, but
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, just the fact that some of it didn't make sense. Like you said, the story idea is cool, but the execution might not have been the best. It's hard to tell when is Freddy coming out of Jesse, and then is Freddy in the world, or does he still look like Jesse?
Yeah.
Or can he just switch back and forth? I don't know. But he can apparently do Freddy things in the real world still. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It was a good idea, just maybe not executed very well.
I guess I have one more negative. I guess the very end. And these movies have a problem with ending their movies.
Yeah.
As far as how to get rid of Freddy.
Yeah.
This is no exception. It was like The Power of Love or something like that.
True
Love's Kiss. Like, no, okay. I mean, that's a way, I guess, to get rid of him. But it was just like, that was pretty cheesy. That was pretty bad.
And it wasn't
how they actually got rid of
throughout the movie. It just happened, and then he just started melting away. Like Freddy started coming off of him.
Yeah,
and it was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess that's how you can do it. Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna mention too. Was the ending was like, okay.
Yeah,
I guess that's what.
That's one way.
Does it? So, yeah, this one's very different compared to the rest, and I feel like it wasn't received super well, so they kind of scratched this idea going forward.
Yeah.
But like I said, and you said, it's not a good movie, but I enjoy watching it. So let's go ahead and rate it.
All right.
Let's give it a grade.
So this one is getting, I'm going to give this one a 71.
Okay. I'm going 78.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going a little higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'll throw this one on from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 in the books.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the next 25 of these movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
So go find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and go ahead and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and leave a review. That would be wonderful. Give us a rating. Send us a comment or something on Facebook or Twitter. Give us a recommendation. We will for sure review the movie if you want us to. So yeah, and that's it. This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the blown up bird bite.